Hello everyone, welcome back to the final episode of the Horizon 1 Let's Play. It has been over a month since the last episode, and I had never intended that to happen. It's kind of a bunch of things happened in the weeks approaching that last video, and just a lot happened, and I needed to take a little break from YouTube, focus on the real life. But we are back, and I am so ready to get the last episode of this game done. So we don't have that many races to go before the finale. We only have a couple, maybe 5. So I'll just be kind of fast forwarding through them a little bit so we can get to the finale ASAP. But in the meantime, we have a bunch to talk about. Man, this thing drifts right well, what the hell? But in the meantime, we have so much to talk about. There was a ton of new games and car news that happened in the past month that I just didn't cover. Obviously, they weren't making videos in the time. So, I want to start off on a bit of a salty note because of the 2022 Subaru WRX. What is this? What is this? Subaru? Subaru, what on earth is this creature that I see in front of me? The back end of this car is absolutely just horrific to me. I don't know how this was able to get out at the Subaru design. I'm spinning out theories, let's go. But I don't know how this was able to get out through the Subaru design booths without someone going, what is it, like, what? What is this? If you look at the previous generation, is one that I think a lot of people weren't necessarily fans of it, but I actually really quite liked the last generation WRX. I thought it was a very good looking vehicle. But when you look at this this new one, it's not looking too good, is it? And it's not just literally not looking good. In terms of performance, they really haven't done that much new. You use a newer engine, so you're using a 2.4 liter out of the Subaru Ascent, but there's not that much of a horsepower and torque increase. I believe it's like less than 10 horsepower and less than 10 torque, so that's really not that much of an improvement when you look at some of the competition and how much they're improving in each generation. That is, Subaru, you really gotta step up their game. Something that really adds on to this is, I think, the fact that there's no one really competing with the WRX right now. Ever since the Evo and has went away, the Subaru just hasn't had any competition. They're just kind of the only one offering this. And while I'm gonna reserve final judgment until I see the full, fully kitted out STI version, the base WRX is the one that's gonna sell the most, and the one that most people can afford, and they get this thing. But anyways, rant over. It's going to be positive for the rest of the video. Now, one thing I wanted to really talk about in this video is a game that I am just over the moon hyped for, Gran Turismo 7. I was always excited for Gran Turismo 7. It looks extremely promising, but it had been quite a while since we had seen any news, and it was getting kind of dry regarding the game. And then Polyphony just surprises us with the absolute banger of a trailer. I mean, that's one of the best video game trailers, especially for a racing game, that I have seen in such a long time. The throwbacks to previous Gran Turismo games was a tremendous touch in there. And it's not just that. I mean, the game looks, it's like drool-worthy. It's such a good-looking game. The amount of content that it looks to be bringing in and returning is, it's just unbelievable, the amount of content in this game. These features are crazy. We already have returning stuff like, let's go over Scapes, for example. Scapes is one of my favorite parts of Gran Turismo Sport. It's probably my favorite photo mode in any, especially racing video game. And just looking at some of the new backgrounds that we have on offer, and just the new, it's a pretty similar layout towards Gran Turismo Sport, but in just the backgrounds and some of the new fonts and texture work, it looks absolutely awesome. I cannot wait to spend hours just taking photos in the game. One of the new things that I'm extremely hyped for is GT Auto. Some of the features in GT Auto were in previous games, such as the oil change and all that, but we also have confirmed, which is crazy, and I don't think anyone was expecting this, was wide body kits. Like, seriously, wide bodies in Gran Turismo? I was never expecting that in a million years. And it looks like we're also going to have the return of the customizable spoiler lengths and shapes and all that from previous games. That is awesome. I cannot wait to experiment with body kits and spoilers. I mean, come on. You know, the other things in GT Auto that I noticed were interesting too. We have engine wear, and also it looked like chassis rigidity as well, alongside your oil health, which is obviously, you know, changed during the oil change. But engine wear is interesting. It's probably just going to go based on the mileage of your vehicle, so that's interesting. And then I guess every once in a while you'll have to do a little rebuild, I guess, or refresh. You know, obviously an oil change isn't going to refresh an engine, you know, that's not going to do it, but that's interesting. I want to see how this plays out. Now, if you're a Gran Turismo fan for a long time, you will probably recognize, where did you come from? What was that? What I was going to say, that if you were a long-term Gran Turismo fan, you'll probably recognize so many different cars from the trailer. I mean, the iconic cars. I mean, the Supra, the Castrol Supra, the R33. There is, oh man, I mean, there's so many others that I just cannot remember off the top of my head, but it was just crazy. This year and next year is going to be crazy for racing games. You know, the beginning of 2021, you know, it wasn't that strong, especially in terms of racing games. We had other pretty good games, but racing games, not necessarily so much. But I mean, think about it. At the end of this year, we have obviously Horizon 5, which is looking awesome. Can't remember if there's anything else coming out at the end of the... Oh yeah, there's Hot Wheels, which I believe comes out this month. Not necessarily my type of game, but for those who are into Hot Wheels, looks pretty cool. So that was 2021. I think, you know, 22 we have... Obviously, we have Gran Turismo 7, which is, you know, that's going to be crazy. That's at... Was it March? I believe it was March 4th, maybe? Or May 4th? I don't know. One of the M's. And then, you know, later in the year, we are supposedly supposed to have TDU Solar Crown. If that doesn't get delayed, I'm kind of... When it comes to that game, I'm kind of expecting a delay. You know, it's still kind of necessarily unclear when they started development of the game. We still aren't 100% sure, but when it comes to that game, I want them to take their time and do it right, especially since they don't have the size of a team and the budget of, you know, some of the bigger studios out there. I want them to, you know, put their best foot forward and make the best product they can, no matter how long it's going to take them. Now, one thing I was going to mention is that while I was gone, we had quite a few episodes of Let's Go. And what I was thinking of doing is, obviously I didn't make news videos covering them. One thing that I've been thinking about for quite a while now is making one big roundup video about, say, everything we know about Horizon 5 so far. I think that's going to be useful not just for me, but for everyone else, so that we can kind of keep track of, you know, everything that they've showed off so far. That NSX just killed me, what the... But yeah, so everything we know about Horizon 5. I don't know when this would come out, necessarily. Probably... What the hell happened here? What is this? So maybe within 2 weeks, I would expect a larger, you know, longer video saying about, you know, all the things that we know about Horizon 5 so far. Just mixing everything up into one longer video. And then I'll kind of keep things updated in like the pinned comment and all that as to newer features that we know as well, so expect that within a few weeks. But in regards to other videos, I'm not going to say what it is necessarily. Some of you already know if you're on Discord. Quick Discord plug, join it please, it's amazing. But the other video I mentioned very slightly in a community post that I was working on something pretty big. And that's no lie. I am. It's a different-ish video than my normal ones. It's not even necessarily on a racing game per se, but a game that's very... a game and a series that's very near and dear to me. So it's got a lot of my thoughts, for better or for worse, in this video, and I've got a lot to say. The game franchise starts with a G. That's all I'll tell you. It'll be pretty easy to figure it out, but that's what I'll give you. Speaking of non-racing games, we had the PlayStation Showcase and Reveal recently, which featured a few things that were both good and not so good. But, you know, let's start with the good. Let's stay positive for now. There was 2 games especially that I was really interested in. Obviously one What? I just got killed by a Lotus... What is that, a Lotus Elan? Jesus, nice. Now, one of the games obviously was Gran Turismo 7. You know, big shocker there. But God of War Ragnarok, right? I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I have a feeling not that many of you are into non-racing games. But I loved God of War 2018. You know, as someone who didn't play a lot of the original games, God of War 2018 was super easy to get into. It was, you didn't necessarily need to play the previous games in order to get into it. And it was a great experience. I highly recommend it. If you have a PlayStation 4 or 5 and you haven't played God of War 2018 yet, do it, please. The combat in that game is so satisfying. And the story itself is of course great. I mean, that leads us to Ragnarok. It's a continuation of 2018's story. I'm not going to get too into it in case, you know, those of you missed 2018 and all that, but it looks great, both graphically and story-wise. There are some really interesting characters that we're going to be seeing too, if you saw the trailer. So I cannot wait to take full advantage of the PlayStation 5. With God of War Ragnarok. And bada boom, bada bing. So we have 2 more events roughly until we unlock the finale, and I'm just going to do those really quickly with no commentary so that we can get straight to the finale. Alright, well, that's it. We have now, I believe, if I am remembering correctly, unlocked the finale. Alright, here we go. Headline event.
Okay, you're fighting for the Horizon crown now. This is everything you've been competing for.
I am so down. I believe we need an R1 car. So what I'm going to do... Wait, R1 or R3? R1, okay. I am going to upgrade a specific car just for this race and to beat Darius. So, we are finally here at the Horizon final. This is going to be a pretty long race, but I'm still excited for it. So let's get into it.
Sure he won't crack? Pressure's really on now. If one slip, just one, and I'll have you. This is where your fairy tale ends, with a bump. This is mine to lose, not yours to win. You think I'm just gonna hand you my title? Think again.
Alright, Darius. 1-on-1. We are going to duel it out. Oh man, this thing has power, and it's incredibly light, which makes this even harder to drive. Now, since I'm using the Gumpert, I'm always curious to know, what did you guys use in the finale? Leave it in the comments below. I normally like to use the Viper ACR X. I think that's my favorite car to drive in this game. It's just so powerful and grippy. I absolutely love that thing, and I love using it in this race specifically. Coming on hot on Berg. Down the inside. A bit messy. Oh no, Berg! What was no? Now, while I'm kind of doing this race here, I wanted to talk about something that was... Now, I absolutely love the Series S. I ended up getting a Series S over a Series X just because I didn't need the 4K since I already have a PlayStation 5 for my 4K games, so didn't necessarily need an X. I felt it was a bit overkill for my scenario, so I got the S instead and saved myself a couple $100, and I am still just super happy that I ended up getting this thing. The weird part is with Horizon 1, the game is optimized for Xbox Series consoles. I totally forgot about that. So right now, I'll get into this later in a second, but I'm still playing on the Xbox One, and I'll tell you why. But the Horizon 1 on Series consoles is actually optimized. It runs at a higher resolution, and it looks amazing. Even on the Series S, which doesn't have 4K. And if you have a Series X, it's in full 4K and it looks just incredible. But there is one weird thing. So I have a Series S, which means it's digital, right? So unfortunately, when it comes to this Let's Play account, it wouldn't sync my data right. So I tried to record this last episode on the Series S, but I would have to start from literally nothing. So start the game over again, and I don't necessarily want to be doing that. So that's why I'm still playing the Xbox One just for this. But I'll tell you, if you want Horizon 1 and you're playing on a series console, wondering if it's going to be good, it is going to be best. It's the best place to play it. So by far, please go out and get it if you have a series console. It's amazing. Catching up on old Dairy Boy here. Might be time to say goodbye to your Horizon Champions. Never mind, I messed that up. Alright, Darius behind us in P1. And there we go. Horizon Champion.
Wow, you did it.
10 million.
Horizon champion. Okay. From zero to hero. What a story. And I'll bet just the first chapter. A new champion. Just what Horizon needs. Awesome.
Okay, you got lucky. Even an average driver gets lucky once in a while. But lightning don't strike twice.
So, I have some bad news. My Elgato decided to completely corrupt every single bit of the final showdown race. And it really sucks. There's no way to really replay the race and capture the same feeling and atmosphere that you would have had for completing it for the first time. And it is upsetting. It bothers me a bit, but I'm going to just do a little voiceover here and kind of talk about my feelings about the Let's Play and everything so far. This was a ton of fun. I absolutely enjoyed visiting Horizon 1 again. This game has a truly special place in my heart. I played it for the first time, in 2018 after Horizon 4. I got into the Horizon series really late, and this game always has this atmosphere that is so unmatched. The music, the cars, the atmosphere is just so perfect to the time period. And doing this Let's Play and going through this story again brought back a lot of those memories for playing this game for the first time. And I guess, hey, I proved myself I can actually finish a Let's Play for once. This was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed this Let's Play, and I'm going to be doing more in the future. The question is, what game do I do next, and when do I do it? And that's something that I still haven't quite figured out yet. So don't expect anything anytime soon. I will be, keep working on that. But I've got other videos I want to finish before starting another Let's Play. Again, I really want to apologize for having this random cut to the end of this. It really sucks. I wanted to just have this part as normal, but Elgato products, I'm sorry, they suck. I have always had a bad relationship with Elgato for years now, and I just always will have these issues with corruption and video glitches, no matter what I do. So it's just the unfortunate reality of the situation, and I wish we could end it on a little more positive a note, but we are finally done with this Let's Play, except for that final episode. Don't worry, it's still going to be coming. I'm just going to have to figure out what went wrong with the Elgato and fix it. So thank you all so much for coming with me on this journey and revisiting Horizon 1, and I'll see you guys in the next video.